Hi, this is Ms. Hammonds. This is a short video to explain the assignment in your interactive notebook. So you're going to actually not go into presentation mode. If you go into presentation mode, it doesn't allow you to make edits to the PowerPoint. It just goes through the slides. So make sure that you're just like this, the way that my screen is, and that you're not in presentation mode. So let me show you the difference. So I just clicked on slideshow for my PowerPoint. And so see how I'm in full screen, everything's blacked out, and every time I click an arrow, I'm able to go back and forth between the slides. That's presentation mode. You can't make any changes or do anything in that mode. So you need to make sure that you're not in presentation mode when you're doing the activities. All right, so you're going to work on slides 12, 13, 14, and 15 in your interactive notebook. So it's an assignment in your assignments tabs of Teams, and I also linked it to the Mahaku page. So you got more than one way to access it. Just scroll down and make sure you're going to these particular slides. So I'm going to explain what I need you to do on each slide, just to make sure that you understand what I'm looking for as far as what I'm grading it. All right, so it says in your own words on slide 12, describe the motion of the object shown in the graph. Be sure to include time traveled, distance traveled, and velocity. So on slide 12, you have 1, 2, 3 things that you're going to be describing. And on your graph, you have 1, 2, 3 sections that correspond with what you're describing. So first, the motion of the object is. So you're going to go from 0 to 1 for the time. So 0 to 1 is your time section. And the distance is 0 to 10 for your very first one. All right. So the first motion of the object is, and the motion is from 0 to 10 meters. So remember the units are in meters over here for distance, and the time is from 0 to 1 second. So the time that was traveled was 1 second. The distance traveled is 10 meters. What is the velocity? So you know, in order to calculate the velocity, you have to start with the final distance, which was 10 meters, subtract the initial distance, which was 0. You start with the final time, which was 1 second, subtract the initial time, which was 0 seconds. So you'll take 10 divided by 1, and then that gives you your velocity. You'll do that for each section. Then you'll start from here to here, and then finally from here to here. The next slide, number 13. You're going to do the exact same thing for each section. You're looking at each point on the graph, and then you'll write your description. Slide 14 is slightly different. Drag and drop the descriptions below to the correct graph on the right. So you're analyzing the distance and time of each one of these graphs. The object is moving at a constant speed. So when you click on it, make sure all the little dots are around it. You can actually drag it and place it in the box. All right. You want to make sure that you select the graph that you think matches this description. Once you've placed each one of these in the boxes, then you'll be able to leave it. Up here at the top left, my autosave is on. So every change that I make to this presentation is going to automatically save. If yours isn't on, you either need to go here to the little floppy disk. I'm old, so this is from my time. Or click this button and save it. Take a look at the hints that are given. See how this one has a blue border and these have blue borders? These are hints to help you know where to place them. These two boxes have red borders and these two boxes have red borders. That's to help you kind of figure out where they should go. And then finally, your last block. or box I should say. In your own words, describe the motion of the student shown in the graph. Be sure to include time traveled, distance traveled, and the velocity. So for this one, you still have 3 sections, but you got a little bit more stuff going on. At first, the student is, then the student is, and finally the student is. And again, you're describing what's occurring at each of the sections of this graph. If you need any assistance, feel free to send me a message on Remind or post in the chat. I'm going to try to briefly log into each one of the courses, but I do have 2 doctor's appointments today. So if I'm not live, I may actively be in that doctor's appointment. I hope this video helps.